The courtroom was silent. You could hear a pin drop. On the stand was a man named Leo, the star witness in a high-stakes trial against a notorious crime boss. His testimony was airtight, a slam dunk for the prosecution. The next morning, the city woke up to shocking news. CCTV footage had surfaced, showing Leo being brutally murdered in a dark, grimy alley. The video was grainy, but the details were chillingly clear. But here's where things get strange, really strange. The trial had already ended. The verdict was in. How could Leo be murdered after he had already sealed the fate of the city's most dangerous man? The police were baffled. They reviewed the footage over and over. The location was real. The victim was unmistakably Leo, but the time stamp on the video ... it was dated for 2 days in the future. 48 hours from now. It felt like something out of a science fiction movie. Was it a hoax? A sick prank to derail the investigation? The lead detective, a seasoned veteran named Detective Harding, publicly dismissed it as a technologically sophisticated but ultimately fake piece of evidence. He assured the public that Leo was safe in witness protection and that justice had been served. But a junior officer in the forensics lab couldn't shake a weird feeling. He ran a deep analysis on the video file, something beyond the standard checks. What he found sent a shiver down his spine. The file's metadata was completely clean. No signs of editing, no digital manipulation, no AI generation. As far as the most advanced software could tell, the footage was authentic. It was a genuine recording of an event that hadn't happened yet. The officer, risking his career, secretly brought his findings to the district attorney. He argued that they couldn't just ignore it. What if it was real? The DA, intrigued and deeply concerned, authorized a discreet, off-the-books investigation. They had less than 48 hours to solve a murder before it even happened. The team started by digging into Leo's life, not as a witness, but as a person. They found that he was a tech genius, a brilliant but reclusive software engineer who had once worked on experimental surveillance technology. Could he have created a camera that could see into the future? It sounded impossible, but the evidence in their hands was screaming otherwise. They revisited Leo's apartment, this time not as a crime scene, but as the home of a potential inventor. Tucked away in a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf, they found a series of encrypted hard drives and a journal. The journal was the key. In it, Leo detailed his terror. He knew he was a marked man. He wrote that testifying was a death sentence, but he had to do it. He also wrote about a project he called Chronos. It wasn't about seeing the future, but about predicting it with near-perfect accuracy based on massive data analysis. He had developed an algorithm that could process millions of variables, schedules, movements, communications to forecast probable events. He had used this system on himself, and it predicted his own murder down to the exact time and place. He knew he was going to die in that alley in 2 days. This revelation was mind-blowing, but the most shocking part was yet to come. Leo knew he couldn't prevent his own death, so he decided to use it to expose an even deeper corruption. He had set up a hidden camera at the predicted location, the same camera that captured the future footage. He didn't do it to save himself. He did it to catch his killer. The team frantically worked to decrypt the hard drives Leo left behind. As the final file unlocked, just hours before the predicted time of death, the truth was revealed. It was a collection of audio files, secret recordings Leo had made over the past few weeks. The voice on the recordings was unmistakable. It was Detective Harding, the lead detective on the case. The very man who had publicly dismissed the CCTV footage as fake. The recordings laid it all bare. Harding wasn't just a dirty cop. He was the crime boss's man on the inside. He had been feeding the organization information for years. Leo's testimony threatened to expose not just the boss, but Harding too. The recordings captured Harding planning the murder with the crime boss's enforcers, telling them exactly where and when to strike. He had orchestrated the entire thing, confident he could control the investigation and cover his tracks. Now the police had a terrible choice to make. They had a video of a murder that hadn't happened yet and audio proof that one of their own was the mastermind behind it. They couldn't just arrest Harding based on a future crime, so they set a trap. They allowed events to unfold exactly as Leo's algorithm had predicted. They didn't move Leo from his supposed safe house, which Harding had compromised. Instead, they set up their own surveillance, a swarm of hidden cameras and undercover officers surrounding the alley, waiting for the clock to tick down. As the time on the prophetic CCTV footage approached, the tension was unbearable. Right on schedule, a dark car pulled up to the alley. Two figures emerged, dragging a third man with them. It was Leo. They forced him into the alley, out of sight of the main street, but in perfect view of the police's hidden cameras. And then, another figure appeared from the shadows. It was Detective Harding. He was there to oversee the job, to make sure it was done right. The second he gave the final nod to the hitman, the entire area lit up with flashing lights and sirens. Undercover officers swarmed in from every direction. Police, drop your weapons. You're surrounded. Harding's face was a mask of pure shock and disbelief. He had walked right into a trap set by a dead man. The evidence was now overwhelming. They had the prophetic video, the audio recordings of the conspiracy, and now they had caught him red-handed, live, at the scene of the crime. Leo was saved, and the real villain was unmasked. It turned out the man who was supposed to be the symbol of justice was the true mastermind. Leo, the witness who testified and then appeared to die on camera, had orchestrated the ultimate checkmate from beyond his predicted grave, using his own death as the bait to expose the corruption that ran to the very top. His genius didn't just win a trial. He cleaned up the entire department. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as mind-bending as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible true crime stories. See you in the next video.